One. All right. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Deep Pockets here on YouTube. I am your host, Deep Pockets, and I have my co-host here, Mr. Hampton. Mr. Hampton, thank you again for joining us back-to-back days. It is a pleasure to have you on here. Got to ask you, as we start these YouTube lives, what was your biggest takeaway last night in the MLB on that Monday?
Well, first off, everyone's lucky you get me for 2 days in a row, right? So, I mean, hey, you must have kind of liked what I had to say. But I think we have to go back to the one main thing that it was the one game that you kind of really took yesterday, which is the Cardinals game. And just as Cardinals fans and as baseball fans, you have to look at that performance last night as very, very concerning. Now, you're starting to see, you know, I typically say, hey, bad at bats and not taking good at bats, over a period of time, that changes. But when you see it consistently happen across several games and several series, it becomes an issue. And last night was kind of the pinnacle of it too. And you see, they made Alex Cobb look like he didn't even have to try last night to beat him. And so, the Cardinals right there, I think there's a very concerning situation they have going on there. And so, we'll see what happens, but I don't think anything's going to be changing anytime soon. So that's where I'm concerned. So, yeah, that's kind of the big takeaway. How about yourself?
Yeah, yesterday was a very frustrating day. I would definitely agree with you about the Cardinals. I had that as my pick of the day. Completely wrong. Everything was right except for the offense didn't show up last night. Jordan Montgomery came out and shut them down. But definitely agree with you there. I'll change it up a little bit. My biggest takeaway is how pathetic the White Sox continue to be. That offense is just horrendous. I texted you about this. I texted other people about this. The White Sox tanked for years just to get to where they are, and they suck. They didn't even win a playoff series. They got to the playoffs, lost to Houston in the playoff series a couple years ago, missed it last year. They hired Tony La Russa. That was a total waste.
Okay.
Everything that they've done in the last 5 years, whatever their timeline was to get back to good, is not even close to what they were supposed to be, and it's an embarrassment. And the way their offense goes out there and continues to shit the bed is embarrassing. So the White Sox are a team who I continue to not trust, and I backed them in an over yesterday. They got us 2 runs, and that was it. They had other opportunities, just weak at bats, kind of like the Cardinals. They just went out there, lazy at bats, terrible roster. I have no faith in the White Sox. So that's my biggest takeaway is how the White Sox tanked just to be bad. They didn't even get better at all. So embarrassing.
Yeah, I know, you're exactly right. And they missed really I think the opportunity they had to be a very decent team is they're on the downside of that now, right? Because they've lost some good players, and it's really, I mean, outside of Dylan Cease, and there's nothing about that team that's like, oh wow, this is an impressive team anymore. So it's very sad to see, but that's what happens when you waste good decisions and good leadership. So, yep.
Yeah, unfortunate. But we move on to today. Thanks for giving your takeaway from last night. Mm-hmm. Yesterday was not a good day overall. I did not win a bet. I went 0 for 3. I lost my pick of the day, which is the Cardinals. Completely wrong there, except for, Montgomery did incredible. Hats off to Montgomery for coming out and showing up last night. Offense was awful. Didn't do anything. So Cardinals lost. Pick of the day lost. White Sox, Jays, as I mentioned, the over 9. Plenty of opportunities to go over. Didn't happen. We lose on that. And then the Reds, just an unlucky night. Reds first 5. The day the Reds offense decides to show up, Nick Lodolo decides not to. And Nick Lodolo gave up 6 runs in the first 5 innings. And guess what? They didn't do anything the rest of that game. And the Reds ended up winning the game on a walk-off. So that was very annoying, to say the least. But, you're going to have those days. Not every day is going to be perfect. You just got to kind of expect that to happen. I've been on a hot streak, but the last 2 days haven't been good. It's not going to be perfect every day. You just got to kind of realize that and kind of go with it. Go with the punches.
Yeah, they were solid lanes, but also, too, Mondays are always tough in the MLB is kind of how I've seen it. It's just you're not series are getting started. You're not going to get the best, pitchers and everything. And it's not always – it wasn't beautiful yesterday. And so you make do with what you can. Yeah, and that's why we're here again today to make money. So,
yep, we will continue grinding. I know the last 2 days have not been good, but we will continue grinding and find some winners. Hopefully today. Nothing's ever guaranteed in gambling, but we will hopefully try to find some winners today based off all the research that we've done, and hopefully we'll provide today on this YouTube Live. So let's get into it. Let's get into today's card and talk about today's bets that we have locked in, ready to roll. Quick reminder, Spaces today at 2:15 Central Time. If you want to listen more about breakdowns from us and other people, jump into Twitter Spaces. We'll be on there at 2:15 Central, starting here in about 45 minutes. But let's kick it off today with the first game of the day between the Rangers and the Reds. So we talked about this game yesterday. We talked about how we like the Reds, at least in the first 5. Mr. Hampton, credit to you. You had the over. Good play there with the over. The runs were pouring in from both teams, especially early on. So good hit with the over. Got to give you credit there. But in today's game, I'm liking the Rangers to bounce back here. And I have a couple of reasons why I like them. First reason being they're facing Luke Weaver. Mr. Hampton, I know you remember Luke Weaver. He was a former Cardinal. We know a lot about him. He was a very overrated pitcher, to say the least. He came up from the system, was a high prospect, didn't do as good as he had a couple good starts, but he never got to the full potential that he could have got to. And if you're going to give me this cheap of a price with the Rangers against the Reds lineup, who before yesterday had been ice cold, I got to take it. And this is something that sometimes you look at it and you're like, yeah, that's a little bit of a weird line. But to me, I'm looking at it, the starting pitcher advantage to the Rangers, the offense advantage to the Rangers. Bullpen could be a little bit hit or miss for the Rangers, but the Reds have actually been decent. Overall, I like the Rangers enough here. I'm looking at the Rangers here against right-handed pitchers. They smashed them. They have an average of a 262, on-base percentage 342, and they average 7.35 runs a game. I like that today. I like Martin Perez. He's been all right. He's had a couple games where he's given up a lot of hits, but he's got a very favorable matchup tonight against the Reds. And I know they scored some runs yesterday, but like I said, before that one game, they were very cold. And Eovaldi hadn't been doing good anyway. So I like the Rangers to bounce back here. I think their offense shows up against Luke Weaver. And so I'm going to just, play it. I'm not going to overthink it. I'm going to play the price it gave me at -140. And this is actually my favorite pick of the day. So it will be my pick of the day, Rangers to bounce back in game 2 against the Cincinnati Reds. Mr. Hampton, any thoughts on this game?
No, I think I'm in the same boat with you here. I like Martin Perez coming into this situation. He does have a little bit higher ERA, but then you look at Luke Weaver, which if you looked at his last start, my gosh, I think that was his first start too. Not a beautiful moment for that kid, and it's not going to get any better because he just doesn't have the stuff right now. And so I've actually taken the run line because I saw some good value there. And I think right now it's plus 117 if you can find it in some books. And then I'm going to jump back into it again. I'm going to take the over again, and I actually took an alternate over of 10.5 at plus 145 as well. So I'm seeing two bullpens that are getting pretty leaky too. So that's where I'm seeing the run part of it. And then you have Luke Weaver thrown in there, and maybe the Reds might put up some runs against Martin Perez. But I think at the end of the day, the Rangers come out of this with a couple run lead, hopefully. So that's what I'm seeing.
Yeah, just kind of tibit on Luke Weaver. Luke Weaver had a rough first inning, then did better the rest of the game. But still, this is a better Rangers lineup than what he would face in his first game. He faced the Pirates. He gave up 4 runs in the first, 2 home runs. He gave up 2 walks. Yeah, he struck out 8. But I still think this Rangers lineup is much stronger than what the Pirates have. I know the Pirates are off to a hot start. I still don't believe that they're going to keep this up. I think they're going to eventually fall apart. I don't think this is sustainable for a 162 game season. Everyone's in love with the Pirates right now, blah, blah, blah. I don't see it. I'm going to play the Rangers. I'm not going to overthink it. Like I said, I think this is a better offense. Look out for Josh Jung. That guy's been on fire. He had 2 home runs last night. I like what I'm seeing from this young kid. He's a third baseman. I think he made his debut last year. So he's looking to make an even more impact on this roster. And I like him to continue his streak of hitting. He's hitting 270 at a slug of 567 in his last 7 games. So he's slugging pretty well. I like the Rangers here. I like your thoughts on the run line, and especially with it being a road team. You always have them guaranteed to bat those 9 innings. I like the run line. I think they can bounce back tonight against the Reds. I like it.
Yeah, good point. And again, that lineup too is pretty hard for even a person coming in at a second start to go through. So, he might be good, but there's some good power on that on the Rangers side. So.
Yes, lots of good players, and like I said, they match those right-handed pitchers, which you like to see. So we are rolling with that tonight. We've got the Rangers in this game to win game 2 against Cincinnati, and hopefully Cincinnati can go back to their sluggish ways on offense. All right, let's move to the Marlins and Braves. This is one that probably is a little bit more bold on my end. I know that the Marlins struggle to score runs. I know I hear all about their offense, their statistics, their bottom tier of the league in scoring runs, OPS, on-base percentage, yada, 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 all that. But tonight, I actually like them to come out and score some runs. And I'm not even playing a side. I'm playing the Marlins team total over 3 runs. I got it priced at minus 125. They got shut out last night. Spencer Strider is on another level right now. He's showing he looks like he is the best pitcher in baseball just based off what he's looking like this year. But they're going up against Charlie Morton, who they have some success against. When I looked into this, that was why I liked the Marlins to bounce back here. They're getting a much softer throwing pitcher compared to Strider. Strider is more of that, high velocity guy. Morton's more of a try to make you swing and miss, and they can get the Marlins, yes, but I like what I've seen from this Marlins lineup in games when they have such a bad performance. If you look back at what they did just a couple days ago, they put up 4 or 5 runs against Cleveland. They put up 6 in the game. They put up 1 in those games too, but they were scoring some runs in that series, and I think they have a better matchup. They've seen Charlie Morton quite a bit, Jazz Chisholm specifically, with a 353 average and 17 at-bats with a home run against him. Very good numbers. De La Cruz, small sample size, 571 average and 7 at-bats. Lourdes Gurriel, 400. Oh, sorry, Yuri Gurriel, my bad. Yuri Gurriel, 400 average and 5 at-bats. Again, small sample size. And then Gene Segura, the most at-bats against him. 274 average and 62 at-bats with 2 home runs. So I think the Marlins, and especially for a team we're going to get to bat all 9 innings, I love that fact. And 3 runs, yes, it could be a lot for the Marlins, but I like the play enough. I like that they got shut out last night. I think they bounced back and put up some hopefully better at-bats. I've got their team total over 3 runs. Mr. Hampton, any thoughts on that game at all?
Yeah, I like it. And it's again, I like the thing I take out of that game. It's sad that Spencer Strider, like in the second a week in a row, a perfect game is broken up in kind of an unfortunate manner. But when you look at this average here, I think that's a pretty good call. I mean, for 3 runs, that's pretty low. And we have a pretty long game to play, and these guys have some decent averages against Morton. I've been looking at it and was listening to you, so I do like that kind of lean there.
Yeah,
don't know about this other guy.
Yeah, I don't trust the side. That's why I didn't take anything here. I truly don't think. And like you said, I don't know much about this Hoeing guy. I don't know how you say it, Hoeing. But Charlie Morton at that price, I know the Braves are so much better, but that's a high price to be laying. I don't trust that enough. But I do like that the Marlins have seen Morton quite a bit. And if you look at some of the trends here, something I kind of like is the Marlins are 4, and I'm not, like I said, I'm not picking this as a side, but the Marlins are 4-0 in their last 4 during game 2 of a series. They're also 5-0 in their last 5 after scoring 2 runs or less in their previous game. So those are a couple of trends I like why I'm backing the Marlins here. You look back, like I said, they scored 4 runs on Sunday. They had 3 in the doubleheader, 6, 2, 4, 4. So they've been scoring some runs. I think they can do it tonight. If we can just get them to 3, just one big inning, we can get it done. So I like the Marlins team total over 3.
Yeah, I like it where you're going with this because you're not trying to force something in like a money line or an over or anything like this. You're really just focusing on, hey, here's a team. They just need to score 3 or more runs. And I think they have the averages and the ability to maybe wear down Charlie Morton here.
Yes, sir. Hopefully we can cash in on that. That's my second play, Marlins team total over. Let's move to the third game today. My third play on the board. It's between the Mariners and the Phillies. This here is pretty simple to me. Again, if you're going to give me a price with a pitcher this good, and I think this is a big pitching mismatch, Logan Gilbert's on the mound against Bailey Falter. Bailey Falter, there's a lot of things I don't like about this guy. He's first off a left-handed pitcher who, yes, if you look at it overall, Seattle is not hitting lefties very well this year. But I think this is a much different left-handed pitcher they're going up against. This isn't one of those elite starting pitchers. This is more of a average to below average starting pitcher. And look at Logan Gilbert. If you look at all of his advanced metrics, everything, he's been a top 3, top 5 pitcher in baseball. I really like what I've seen from this Logan Gilbert guy. I think advantage starting pitching. I think advantage bullpen. The Phillies are bottom 5 in ERA for their bullpen. And so if this does come down to a game where the bullpens are in, I trust Seattle's a lot more. And my pick to click today, as they like to say, I like Teoscar Hernandez to have a big game. He's hitting very well against left-handed pitchers this season. He's having, if you look at his isolated power, very, very high. His average may not tell you that right at final of the season. And I think if he can do what he's been doing against left-handed pitchers this season, I like his chances to have a good game. Just to give you a idea of what he's doing, lefties compared to righties. Against lefties, he's hitting 333 with a 333 on base percentage, 889 slug, and a 1.222 OPS. That blows away all of his numbers against right-handed pitchers. His right-handed pitcher numbers is horrible. So I like him to have a big game today. That's a big reason why I like this. I might even put him in some kind of player prop. If I can find something good with him, I like Teoscar Hernandez to have a big game. But just to me, pitching mismatch, the price is pretty good for me. I'm taking that money line, minus 115. I like the Mariners for game one of the series. Any thoughts on this one, Mr. Hampton?
No, I mean, I'm impressed with Logan Gilbert. I think you are too. So I think you're right in calling this a pitching mismatch. And I don't think there's any concern with the travel. I mean, they had yesterday to prepare for this. And the Seattle is a better team in terms of that offense. The Phillies have yet to really get that offense going from last year. There's just holes in that. It's just not showing up. It's whether you want to call it a hangover or what, it's just not there. So I like this lean quite a bit. So good call on that.
Yep. Thank you. And let's see. I don't know if I have anything else about this, but yeah, I just think the biggest thing is pitching mismatch. I don't trust Falter. He's 0-3 on the year, so he's not giving his teams, at least from the numbers here, enough chance to win the game. So I like it. I'll be rolling with it. And one quick thing. Game one of a series after a win for the Phillies, they're 1-3, so they tend to play a little bit down after winning a series, their final game of the series, and they're coming off a series against the Rockies. We all know the Rockies are nothing great, and this will be a much tougher starting pitcher that they'll face in this game than they did in any of those 4 games back in Philadelphia when they played Colorado. So that is just another reason.
Yeah, the Rockies actually played them a little tight that series. That was interesting to watch.
They did.
Yeah,
they really did. Yes, absolutely. All right, let's move on to the next game. The next game, Astros and Rays. Yesterday, I had the Astros in my underdog moneyline parlay. If you listened in, if you followed along, that was the only team who missed in the moneyline underdog parlay, unfortunately. I had the Tigers. That was like my most worrisome game of the 3. Of course, they won the game. Baltimore won the game, and we had the loss with the Astros. But today, I'm going back to the Astros, man. I know the Rays are playing at a crazy pace right now. They're 20-3. The offense is incredible right now. I mean, there's just so much you can say about this Tampa Bay team, but I cannot go away from that kind of price that you're giving the Astros. I know they're playing a good team like the Rays, but plus 148 with this good of a team that the Astros have, I just can't go away from it. And another thing I like is Luis Garcia had a rough start to his season, but last week he looked really good. I watched that game. He had some really good swing and miss stuff against Toronto. He shut down their left for like 6 or 7 innings. I can't remember. 7 innings. He went 7 innings, 2 hits, 1 walk, 9 strikeouts. Very impressive start from him. So I like him today to hopefully build off of that start. And if you look at Luis Garcia the past couple of years, he's been a good pitcher, and he just got off to a slow start this year. So hopefully that's the case. But I like what I saw last game. I think he's got elite stuff. And Rasmussen on the other side, I am very high on Rasmussen. I think he's a good pitcher. I think he's a very good pitcher. But if you look at the games he's played this year, look at the games he's played. Okay, Washington Nationals, Oakland Athletic, and the Cincinnati Reds. Those are 3 of his 4 starts. Who was his 4th start against? 4th start, Toronto Blue Jays. What did he do in that start? He gave up 8 hits for 5 earned runs, 4 walks. That is the best offense he's faced all year. Besides those 3 teams, those are just weak offenses that he faced. And tonight is a much different offense than any of those 3 teams. And I know the Blue Jays have seen him a lot, so that probably helped them at least have a game plan for him. But I like the Astros enough here. I'm going to back them. Tampa Bay cannot continue winning at home, and they're going to eventually lose. I'm playing the price here. I like the price, the value we're getting with the Astros. I got the Astros here money line. That's what I'm going to go with. What do you got, Mr. Hampton?
No, I am with you 100%. I actually picked the Astros up last night, money line plus 160, because of that. And you look at the numbers. I mean, there's some good batters that can. I mean, Yordan Alvarez and Alex Bregman have some good numbers, some decent numbers against Rasmussen here. And the way I look at it, I mean, the only concern I have is the pitching with Garcia. His ERA is pretty high up there right now, but can he continue on kind of like a positive trajectory here? And Rasmussen has a 0 ERA at home so far. So, but I like the at bats here, and that 14-0 streak has to come to an end at home. It's just like that can't go on forever. So. Let's see what happens here, and I'm gonna back the Astros.
Yeah, this is just a value play for me. Like I said, this is in no way at all disrespect to the Rays. I have told you guys multiple times how impressive it is what they're doing. But at this price, I just got to back the Astros. I like the way Luis Garcia is coming off that game. I think he shows a lot. Hopefully tonight against a tough Rays lineup, I think he can do well enough to win this game. So Astros, and I hope Yordan Alvarez is back in the lineup. I know they missed him last night. They're saying he should be back in. I know he had a little bit of neck discomfort. Not sure if he's going to play or not, but honestly, I still back the Astros at that price. I'll play him even if Yordan Alvarez is out, though. It'd be nice to have him back in there.
That would be. I mean, it's not easy hitting bombs when you're Yordan Alvarez. That takes a lot. So, yeah. I don't know if you have any numbers on how they do after like a loss like that, like they had last night. But, I mean, again, that's the other thing I think about, too, is that, this is a good bounce back moment for the Astros as well. To kind of play a little bit solid game and put up some runs.
So based off of the series, I can pull that up right here. I have that information. Give me a second as I pull it up. Sure. It gives me a trend. Where's it at? Why is it not pulling up? It always does. And now, of course, it's not.
It's so hard looking through some of these sites sometimes. I'll tell people that when you're like, when you're wanting to get surgical and do some research, you gotta.
Here we are.
So much data.
After a loss in Game 2, the Astros are 2-2. So that's where they stand. So they are coming off that loss. That's where they are now. A couple of things. If you like some trends, here's a couple other trends that are kind of standing out to me. Astros are 8-1 in Garcia's last 9 starts, with a total set at 9 to 10.5. Interesting. And then Houston's also 5-2 in their last 7 meetings in Tampa Bay. So, I mean, eventually Tampa Bay's got to lose a game at home. I don't think they're going to go. What is it? 81 games they play at home, 81-0 at home. So I'm taking a shot tonight. I like the value with the Astros.
And that's like the good part too. You're getting pretty good value, plus 160. So I like that take, and that's why I took it. So
awesome. We're on the same page there. So good stuff. All right, the other game. This is my 5th and final pick tonight. I have this bet in. I looked at all these games, and Rangers, like I said, my favorite. Marlins is one there. Mariners, Astros, but this one stood out to me because I'm seeing a lot of love for the Pirates right now. I'm seeing lots of love, and I know the price right now on the money line is telling you this should be a close game. The books are respecting the hell out of Pittsburgh right now. And a lot of it probably has to do with who's pitching for the Dodgers. Noah Syndergaard, he's an absolute bum. But I'm not going either way here. I'm not taking a side. I'm taking the over. And I like the over here because the Dodgers are still hitting at an elite level against right-handed pitchers. If you look at that, they are struggling against lefties big time, but they're smashing right-handed pitchers. They're like one of the 4, and I've talked about this Dodgers lineup being a little bit overrated, and can't really go away from what you've seen from a right-handed split perspective. If you look at that, I'm going to give you some of the numbers on what I'm talking about here. So I have some backup if I can find the game that just went away from me. Why is it not showing up on here? Oh, here it is. I was looking in the wrong place. Sorry. Okay. Anyway, Dodgers against right-handed pitchers are hitting at a 244 average for a 342 on base percentage, 5.89 runs a game, and they're averaging 1.4 home runs per game. Left-handed pitchers, 173 average, 282 on base, runs per 9.4. They're just a totally different team to get right-handed pitchers. And they've got a lot of lefties in their lineup, like Max Muncy, who's on a fire right now. How about this James Outman guy? This Outman guy is on fire too. I like what I've seen from that lefty out of the outfield. But this Dodgers lineup did good in Chicago over the weekend. They faced some decent pitching, like Marcus Stroman. They put up 7 runs that game. They put up 9 in the second game. I know they got shut out against Drew Smyly, but hey, guess what? He's a lefty. And then in that first game of the series, they scored 6 runs. So they're scoring runs. I think they can do that tonight against Oviedo. Oviedo, again, I feel like every damn pitcher that I'm talking about in some way has a history with the Cardinals. Here's another pitcher, Johan Oviedo. who's been really good this season. If you look at his numbers, they're very good. If you look
Really
at his
good.
game logs here, he did well against the White Sox. No surprise, the White Sox suck. He did well against the Cardinals. No surprise, the Cardinals' offense is inconsistent. And then he did good against Colorado in Coors. But I don't think he's this good. I think he still has some hiccups in there. He had that first start of the year against Boston where it didn't go as well. 5 runs, 4 earned, 3 home runs. I think he's due for a little bit of regression here. I don't think he's this good of a pitcher. Do I think he's good and has some talent? Yeah, of course. But I don't think he's this good of a pitcher where he's a lockdown starter. And I think this is going to be a very tough matchup for him against the Dodgers. And so I like the over here. I think the Pirates can do enough against Syndergaard. I don't need to go all into him. No, Syndergaard is just a bad starting pitcher. I have no faith in him. And I think the Dodgers can run out tonight and score some runs. And neither bullpen is great. The Dodgers have a weak bullpen, and the Pirates have the 26th rated bullpen in baseball this season. So I'm playing the over. I got it at 8.5. I think we could see some runs here. And one other thing before I pass it over to Mr. Hampton to get your thoughts on this game. This series, the over is 42-18 in the last 60 meetings when they play in Pittsburgh.
Whoa.
Got to look at that kind of thing. Got to look at that kind of thing. Wow. Dodgers are also 8-2 in their last 10 meetings in Pittsburgh. So I'm not playing aside. I'm playing the over. But those kind of numbers, you kind of can't look. You got to look at that and say, yeah, I know these are different teams over the years, but 42-18, that record stood out to me a lot. So that was one thing which also made me enticed with this over. So, Mr. Hampton, any thoughts on this game?
42-18. I mean, my research didn't come across that, but I like this lean here. I mean, one thing I tell you, I've watched this Outman kid play, and he's like, he knows the game. He's a smart player, and you don't see that. Like, he's not just all about like finesse and like, I like the way he plays the game. So I think he's going to be somebody to watch kind of long term. Oviedo, you're right. I've seen him play with the Cardinals. He will how am I going to say this? At some point, he's going to wear down, right? He hasn't been a long-term starter, so I mean, this magic has to kind of wear off at some point. And like you said, the Dodgers really do have a very good numbers against right-handed pitching. So I like what I'm seeing here. And the Dodgers also have been in the Midwest for the past week. So I like this as a really good pick.
Yes,
both teams are bad bullpens too. Bullpens that can be destroyed too.
Yes, and I always like to look at that when looking into these games. I just don't trust this Dodgers bullpen. I think the Pirates can do enough. I don't trust Syndergaard, and I don't trust the Pirates to keep doing what they've done. I mean, like I said, they are playing well right now, but I don't think this is for real. I don't think this is sustainable over the course of 162. So, yeah, Dodgers reliever ERA is 5.5. That's horrible. So. Yeah. Even if Syndergaard goes 6 innings, we still hopefully can get that Dodgers bullpen to have a bad start, to have a bad outing. So we'll hopefully cash in on this over. That's the only full game over I've got for tonight. Pirates Dodgers. I like what I'm seeing here. I think the Pirates can jump on Syndergaard, and I think the Dodgers can jump on Oviedo.
Yeah, I wonder how that Alex Reyes pickup is going for the Dodgers.
Yeah, I know. No kidding.
I don't think it's working out too well for him. I think he's on that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Good stuff there on Pirates Dodgers. Let's move to the last game. This game is specifically going to be started by Mr. Hampton. Mr. Hampton has some action on this game, so let's start with him on this. I'll give some thoughts afterward. Pirates and Cubs. What do you have in this game, Mr. Hampton?
So yeah, I'm on this one. I'm love playing a little bit of the overs here. I'm taking the over in this game. Kind of from what I'm seeing, we have Blake Snell, left-handed pitcher, versus Jordan Still, who's also a left-handed pitcher. What I'm seeing here and why I'm liking the over is Snell away from home is not. I mean, his ERA is pretty high up there, and I like the Cubs' offense again. I mean, the Cubs are going to be at home, and this is a pretty good offense. So I think they can get to him. Jordan Steele. I mean, here's the thing: every time I've taken the Cubs this year, kind of in the over thing, I get burnt, but. And it might be because of Jordan Still there. I think Jordan Still is a really solid pitcher, and might be able to kind of contain that Padres offense. But at the end of the day, I'm just looking at the numbers and kind of saying to myself, hey, they can get to Snell, they can get into that bullpen. on both sides. The bullpens, again, we're still talking about leaky bullpens about everywhere, but just that's kind of what made me think, hey, I'm liking this over today. It is a little bit chilly. Could potentially be raining at Wrigley in that area, but I just think that with the offenses and everything, it's going to be a good chance for an over today. I
Yeah,
didn't see if the wind was blowing in, but yeah, that's my thought.
yeah, no, I like it. I mean, look at these two, like you were saying. I just with Blake Snell, I never trust him for an
Yeah,
under. Like Blake Snell can just have one blow up inning, and that's all it takes for that game to go over. Like it can happen like that. So yeah, I don't trust Blake Snell at all. I think the Cubs have been hitting lefties at a really good rate this season. If you look at their numbers,
yeah.
I'm
Look at
pulling
their
it.
averages: 286
Yep,
ERR average. So I mean, at home
I've
they're
been
pretty
very
good.
impressed. Very impressed with this Cubs lineup this season. And, I'm not a fan. Obviously, I'm not a fan of the Cubs, but you got to give them credit when it's due. And their offense has been good. They've been better than the Cardinals. That's no doubt about that.
Yeah,
So looking at it here, yeah, 286 against lefties, 346 on base percentage. They're scoring 5.5 runs per game. On the other side, you have the Padres who see lefties well. So yeah, I like your look. And if the wind's blowing in, I mean, sure, you can't always. I know the wind is a big factor at Wrigley. I know you have to always look at that, but I don't think it's always the reason you got to make the play with what you decide. So I think you're on the right thoughts there because I mean,
yeah.
yeah, Justin Steele's been really good this season, but can this continue the way he's
I don't
going?
know.
I don't see it. I just don't. And I think the Padres have enough in that lineup to do enough damage to this offense. So yeah, just I think that's a good point. I like your play. I'm not going to be taking that probably, but I do like that you're going with the over there. That's a low total for two pitchers that could potentially blow up at any time.
Yeah. And I haven't really made an official play either, but I was actually looking at like either the run line or money line for the Cubs too. I think they can win this game, but I
Yeah,
haven't really taken that yet. But again, just kind of looking into that a little bit.
perfect. All right, awesome. Nice, nice. I like the looks on these games. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can bounce back tonight with what we've got. Do you have any other bonus picks, any other for fun picks that you've thought about tonight? Anything like that before we close out this YouTube live?
Nothing too crazy. I mean, I do like tonight's slate better than last night's. Right, you're getting into some of the actual week games. I'm actually also looking at the Toronto Blue Jays run line. Kind of liking what I'm seeing there because the White Sox are legit bums, and eventually they just have to start playing a little bit better. The Blue Jays have to play better at home. But yeah, I was looking at the run line, was maybe even taking a lean an alternate run line. So we'll see.
All
How
right.
about
I like that.
yourself?
So I haven't made it official, like I haven't put it in yet, but I'm kind of looking at that little underdog approach here with like a taking three teams tonight that I like
Yeah.
to win the game. Like I said, I haven't got there yet with it, but some teams I've been eyeing are here. I'll tell you who the teams are that I'm eyeing, but that I don't. Let me tell you really
Last night
quick
you were
as I
so close on that. It's just the Houston Astros just couldn't handle
I
what
know.
the Rays were putting out. I mean that Rays offense
Unfortunate.
can be amazing sometimes.
Yeah. Oh crap. Marco Gonzalez has been switched for Logan Gilbert, so we can just throw
Ooh,
that pick. We can throw that pick out.
yeah. Oh boy,
Wait,
that's interesting.
did they
Why
credit
is
me back
that?
for that? Why didn't they credit me back for that? If I have,
Yeah, yeah.
okay,
Make
I
sure,
gotta.
folks, when you're doing stuff like that you can cash out or they give you your money back. They should give you. Was it just announced? I mean, heck, that's interesting. Why are they pulling Logan Gilbert on that one?
Interesting. I just saw that. I gotta look at that.
Yeah.
Do I have to put it? I thought they credit you back if the pitcher gets changed.
I always thought they do too, and I'm guessing you did this with Bovada. So my
Yeah,
guess is
it says Marco Gonzalez for Logan Gilbert. All wagers involving Logan Gilbert are no action, so I should get that credit back.
you should. It might
Okay,
take a
yeah,
second or two because that sounds
I'm
like very fresh news. I mean,
I'm definitely not playing that game no more.
yeah,
I'm not
yeah,
trusting Marco Gonzalez.
yeah. Do not trust Marco Gonzalez. That's unfortunate though because
Yeah,
now I want to know why because that's so close to the game. Something like that. Maybe he's sick or something, but yeah.
let's see if there's a reason. I'm gonna pull it up right now since we're on here. Might as well get the information out since it's still early. But yeah,
Yeah, get
Seattle.
those
If
Marco
anyone's
Gonzalez numbers.
if anyone sees this today, I'm not going with Seattle tonight. I don't trust Marco Gonzalez, although the Phillies struggle against lefties, but still not doing it. Logan Gilbert was scratched today. It looks like Gonzalez will start. Logan Gilbert will go tomorrow instead. They're just switching up their schedule. Interesting.
Maybe they think that Marco Gonzalez can handle, this matchup against Bailey Falter, and, they can eke out a win out of a bum.
Yeah, no kidding. But yeah, if I had to make a underdog parlay, like the 3 teams I would choose, I don't know. Actually, I don't like as many of these teams tonight, so I might have to look into it a little bit more. I don't want to just go off, talk out of my butt here and do nothing. So yeah, I got nothing here right now for the bonus plays. I might do a player prop, like a hitter prop.
Yeah.
I still like Teoscar Hernandez tonight to do some damage against Bailey Falter. He's hitting lefties exceptionally well, as I mentioned his numbers earlier in this live. So Teoscar Hernandez may be a addition to a player prop in some way. I'll let you guys know. I'll put it on my Twitter page. That's what I do. On Deep Pockets, my Twitter page, I always post my plays officially through there. Teoscar Hernandez to record a hit tonight against a lefty, 245, minus 245. Ooh. But I would pair him with somebody. But that's pretty cheap. For for example, Julio Rodriguez is minus 350. So I would pair Teoscar Hernandez with somebody and try to get like plus money. But yeah,
I wonder what that with like Gene Segura against Charlie Morton or something like that. That might be interesting. So
I might look into Jazz Chisholm. Remember
Jazz Chisholm's number is pretty good too. So
and especially if he leads off, if Chisholm leads off, I like his chances of recording a hit because he'll get more at bats and he's seen him very well. Let's see what his numbers are here. Let's see while we're pulling it up here really quick. Jazz Chisholm would be minus 160 to record a hit. That's pretty low. So if you pair those two together, if you pair Jazz Chisholm with Teoscar Hernandez, you're going to get plus 129 odds. I like that.
That is good. Yeah, that's worth taking. I mean, I would take it. Like you said, even if Jazz Chisholm doesn't lead off, I think he's pretty good. So he has some good numbers against Charlie Morton. So yeah, I like that.
Let's see if that lineup is posted yet, because if he's not in the lineup, I'm not taking that, obviously. Okay, no lineups have been posted. No lineup for Miami, but I'm going to wait and see if he's in the lineup. That's a very possible player hit prop parlay of Jazz Chisholm and Teoscar Hernandez. That may replace the Mariners bet that I originally had, but I wouldn't go like a full crazy unit on it. I put a little bit on it, nothing too crazy.
Yeah. You don't have to on those ones like that. So good.
All right. Well, I think we're good. Do you have any closing thoughts tonight, Mr. Hampton, before we close out this YouTube?
I say let's make some money. And like you said, if you want more information, right, go to Deep Pockets. And I think you also do some stuff on TikTok. So it's always a good place to go to find Deep Pockets on TikTok for some good parlays. So
Yes, absolutely. All right. Well, thank you to everybody, whether you came in live and joined us or if you replayed our YouTube live here with Deep Pockets. It's been a great time. I love coming in here and sharing my picks. Hopefully it's better than the last 2 days. They were very awful for me, but that's not going to be, we're not going to be perfect every day. So we just got to roll with the punches and hopefully today can be better. So good luck to everybody tonight. Let's cash some tickets. Let's beat the books. And most importantly, let's get some Deep Pockets.
Let's go.
All right, everyone. Have a great rest of your day.